We must. We have to. We don't have time.
Hi, Hannah.
Oh, hello. Hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are hot and fresh off of Ketchup Only Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. We just streamed, and we, 45 seconds later, are recording this episode that's dropping on Friday. So, keeping it hot and fresh. Maddie, what's going on with you? What's happening? How's your day going? What's coming up this weekend? What's going on?
Hannah, my life is fine. I'm tired.
Hmm.
I don't know how it's already Wednesday night.
Insane.
Monday and Tuesday, flew by.
Yeah.
So did last weekend. I think I was just sitting here dreading, telling you I was dreading working on Thursday.
Yeah, and here we are again, dreading working on Thursday.
But you know what I'm not dreading?
This episode?
This episode.
Nice. Good segue. Love. Great job.
Thank you so much.
I know, this was a great episode that I joined late because I had to leave work late, which was super fun for everybody. But you guys got a good start to the podcast, I would say.
Yeah. Listen, you may have missed some of it, but it's a long episode. So
Yeah.
Buckle in.
I was going to say, we're keeping these intro outros tight because we've got a long episode in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy this delightful exchange of camaraderie between myself, Tom Souls, Anthony Curlott, Luke Jaconis, moderated by Hollyn Gale, and including your other
special guest,
Hannah Ganshaw, who, if you're watching this on YouTube, you may not see. But
yeah, there's no
there.
chance. In spirit, she is.
You'll hear her.
That's what matters.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Love that you're going straight from the carton.
Why dirty a bowl?
Absolutely. That's my mood. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Tom made a nice comment before we began that we have to be sure to let me and Hannah lead the call, so everyone's scared to speak now.
Well, Hannah's not here, so one of us can fill in and be that loudmouth for at least the next half hour. So I guess that's my job.
That is absolutely Luke.
Yeah, Luke will
chime in. Tom! That's my Hannah impression.
Is Hannah
okay, but wait. Maddie, you guys don't even know.
That was pretty good. That was good. Hannah got out of work late, so she's going to be here momentarily.
But I'll get to hang with her tonight.
Yeah, she'll be here. Probably in 15 minutes, but we'll see. So, we have a few guests with us here today. We have friend or foe of the pod, depending on which host you ask, Mr. C, Anthony Curlott.
Oh, hi. Didn't know that depended on the host, but glad to hear it.
I mean, I thought you and Hannah had beef.
It's forever beef, but underneath all those layers of beef is passionate love.
Did he just say that?
He did.
And she's not here to confirm nor deny, so...
That's how rumors start, Anthony.
We also have semi-regular guest host of our streams, Tom is America, Tom Souls.
Hello. Pleasure to be back as always.
Yes. And our correct me if I'm wrong, our first interview that we did was with Mr. Mustache, Luke Jaconis, and another pal who's not here. But Luke Jaconis is back.
Yeah, I'd like to, me and my mustache would love to sell you guys some used vacuum cleaners. If you have a couple of minutes after the show, we'd love to cut you some great deals that would probably make a lot of sense for you all. So this is my mustache. It's for a show I'm in right now called The Game's Afoot, and his name is Stromboli. We've named him among the cast, and his name is Stromboli. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about all the movies I watched this year, and I watched a lot of them. Let's get into it. Number 1, Polar Bear.
Disney Plus. Wait. We're going to get into that. Polar Bear? That was a movie?
The sexiest and most risque movie of 2022, Polar Bear.
I'm gonna need to Google fact check your list because that
It's
sounds
just a
fake.
Disney nature doc.
Doesn't make it any less risque, Tom.
There's
Did you watch it?
That's true.
a particular scene that Catherine Keener narrates in that movie that I had to excuse myself, like the polar bears did on screen.
Just talking about it right now, I may need a trip to the bathroom.
While you're wearing that nice polo.
This was my dead grandfather's polo. Thank you, Luke. Wore it to work today. Long sleeves, very comfy. You have great taste for 92 years old. Great
2
taste.
minutes in, off the rails already.
I love my job. And last but not least, we are joined by the beautiful, the delightful Hollyn Gale.
Hi, I'm honored to be here. I can't believe that I get to be on such a historic episode and to be so integral to this this competition is as a non-movie watcher, it's really an honor. It's really an honor,
Just happy to be here.
honestly.
So we sort of alluded to it. Hollyn is our mediator for this exclusive event. We're here to recap our 2022 movie competition. Luke, do you care to share with the people some history of this movie competition?
Yeah, this competition started. I don't even know the first year it started, Anthony, that we went toe to toe. I mean, the 2018 was the year we took it really seriously.
I think it might have been 2018.
But for years, I would always say I'm a big fat movie nerd, as is Anthony, as are most people that are on this call, especially that Hollyn Gale. She sees a lot of movies every year. I would always just keep lists of movies I would see, and then I would rank them from 1 to 10. And then at the end of the year, I would just chronological, top 10, bottom 10 kind of thing. And then one year in 2018, Anthony and I went toe to toe on a movie competition, and he beat me by like 12 movies. But that was the first we really all went hog wild. And Tom also kind of joined in late, just like for fun. And then we did that, kind of every year. Then COVID happened, and last year was just kind of whatever. But this year was like the first year it seemed we were all to kind of be back trying at least. So it's just a simple game. You watch as many movies as you can in 20 of the year released. Has to be a movie that came out in this year. Can be either in the theaters, streaming. I don't know if I'm forgetting. They could rent movies on like Redbox or on demand. And then whoever watches the most wins. And then at the end of the year, we all get together and talk about them, what we liked, what we didn't like, what sucked, what didn't suck. How many movies we watched in theaters compared to streaming. I don't know if you guys did that, but I did that this year. No? Okay, fair enough. But yeah, and the game's evolved over years. This year Maddie got in on the fun, and that's pretty much that.
It should be noted that the winner doesn't even get anything other than bragging rights.
True, not
It's just
yet.
for the pride of the game.
That's something could happen, but we don't tell anybody, like around November, we don't tell anybody where our number's
Mhm.
at. We like to keep that. So none of us know who won. I know the record is 88.
Mhm.
I know that will be beaten tonight, and so here we
Long
go.
live the king.
I have a question. So you, at one point, I remember when this first started, streaming wasn't what it is now, which is kind of interesting because it's been 5 years. And when you first started, you didn't even, you didn't count streaming movies. They had to be theater
Yeah, I don't think we
releases,
did.
right?
I think we just did like theaters and like Redbox movies.
Well, in 2018 we did because that's
You're
when
right,
Netflix started to
Mhm.
do their own original films. But it's not
Yeah.
like it is now, where every week there are 5 original movies that are released on streaming. It's impossible to keep up with it.
Yeah. And I mean,
And
hey,
we always
if
have
you're-
said, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Maddie.
Nope. I
I
was
was
going to
gonna
make
say-
a bad joke.
That's and we're off
That's
to a hot
what
start.
Luke does.
That's my job for the next 15 minutes until Hannah gets here.
Uh-huh.
I was going to say that another thing too at the competition is we've always kind of said we've always said that from October to December is really where the competition picks up. For whatever reason, we always not slack, but kind of put in cruise control from January to September. But then for whatever reason, when October comes around, we all decide to really watch a crap ton of movies. And then from there, it just kind of snowballs. But I'm curious to see who the winner is this year. So it's going to be good.
Is that because you know it's not you?
No comment.
Yeah. I think we've come to the time. I think it's time for you to tell us the numbers, Hollyn.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest with you. I got these numbers like half an hour ago. And I'm shocked. I don't know how everybody else is going to be. The numbers are so close. And that's why I wanted to share them first. Because I just like, you know what your number is, and you'll have to guess who had the other one. So we're going to start with the lowest and move up. Okay. So the lowest was 91. Next was 104. Next was 121. And next was 123.
That is incredible.
I know. Like, my heart is beating out of my chest. I want to see if my Apple Watch will tell me what my heart is at right now. I think this is worth the pause. Let's see here.
My heart is beating out of my chest.
146 beats per minute.
No, it is not.
It is. It is.
Go to the clinic.
146. My resting heart rate is under 60. So that's how I feel about this. You all picked the right person.
Do you need me to call someone for you?
No, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I'm just quite excited. Okay. I like that it's on video because we know I'm not lying. Okay. So we're going to add the names. Okay. At 91 was Madeline. Incredible to me as somebody who watched 2 releases in 2022.
Update. I started in October.
Whoa. Honestly, let's take a moment for that. That's huge. That's shocking. Okay. Number 2, Anthony. Okay. With 121, Tom. 123, Luke.
You are
The greatest
a
trick.
liar.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. For the last 2 months, every
What a
single night
bastard!
after rehearsal or before rehearsal, I have watched everything. Netflix, Prime, it didn't matter if it was good, bad, fresh, rotten. Do you know how many goddamn movies I have watched in the last 2 months? It all started.
It has to be like
started
60.
right after I came home from Chicago. I watched about 5 movies when I was home that week, and that was the rest was hi Hannah, and the rest was history.
Wow.
This is a plan I have had conjured since probably Halloween. I told my father about it when I was home. Sean knows about it. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
You bastard.
That's impressive work.
I
You
would have
remember what
gone
number you
so
told me
much
you got?
harder.
I threw you guys off the scent a few weeks ago when I texted you.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of shit. A lot of it.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't stoop to the shit level.
Well, you didn't want to win bad enough, did you?
I guess not. I was just happy that I broke 100. That's where I was.
I'm impressed that
yeah.
everyone, Maddie, what'd you get? 91?
91. I didn't watch any movies from the time I went home till New Year's for Christmas.
I
So
watched-
I went about 2 weeks without watching right at the end when you all
Yeah.
were probably watching 3 a day.
Yeah. I probably watched I would sometimes after rehearsal here's the trick. You got to find the short ones. Anything from an hour and 20 to an hour 40 max, cram them in. One of those things. Got to do what you got to do.
I cannot believe you beat him by 1.
It's
Was
2.
when Hollyn gave the number, I was sweating. And then it's what the most amazing part is, if you stop and think about it, was that I was only at 59 at a point in time, which is crazy. And that's also where I ended.
That's what I'm saying. So your 59 was your update the first week of November.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And 59 was also the number he texted me about half an hour ago.
Yeah.
But that
I
was
came
a
in
fun
last.
journey. He came in last. He just got a girlfriend, you people. You think he was watching hour and 20-minute movies instead of sleeping with his girlfriend? Like, what? Think.
I was busy. I was in a show, and I had work. And yeah, what Hollyn said was that part's true as well. I didn't win. I came in last, but what a
He got
bid.
59, but he really
I've just wasted.
Well, Hannah wasn't here. We had to fill the air.
to fill the air. So
Now
I
that
really,
Hannah's back, I'll kick it to her.
That's an idiot.
did you all really
What's
now?
happening?
Did you all really believe? You believe, and I don't know if you got this text, Maddie. This is more Anthony and Tom. You believed that Luke somehow watched over 60 movies, like over a movie a day since you last heard from him?
I'll go first, Anthony. I mean, yes, because he's just my friend and I know he loves movies and I trust him, even though I know him well enough to know how many jokes he makes and how much he loves a bit. But yeah, I guess.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, I guess. I mean, how he said it was, I don't know how long this plan was in action. Maybe that 59 movie in November was a lie. Maybe he had been. So yes, I did believe him because we're friends and you want to be able to trust your friends. But now I know. Now I know.
Hollyn texted me about 5 minutes into the bid and said, how do you want to work your way out of this?
I was like, we need an exit route. I didn't think it was going to go quite this long when I agreed to it. I do feel I'm never going to be invited back for this process again. I went in too deep.
Luke's not invited anymore.
But I would like to re-announce the numbers because I just think
Yes,
that
thank you so
some
much.
people deserve some things. Luke at the very lowest, it's like he wasn't even playing a competition. He could have been asleep this whole time with 59. Just kind of a waste of space. Madeline at
Great.
91, starting
That's
in
impressive.
October, people. So I honestly think I want to like prorate that. That's all I,
I mean,
want to
okay,
say.
I watched movies before then, but I didn't start watching movies for the purpose of the competition before then. So I probably had I think I had 17 or something when I started in October.
That's incredible. Anthony with a truly respectable 104. Tom just demolishing the competition with 121.
Great work.
Just
Great work,
demolishing
Tom.
it.
Thank
I
you.
mean, that's a number that's not going to ever be touched again.
It's January 24th.
That number.
Yeah, game over.
Yeah,
Let's go.
good point. Because at this point last year, because I marked down how many movies I watched every month, in order, and I watched 0 movies in January of 2022. So, really, this is 121 movies in 11 months.
All bits and jokes aside, the three of you, congratulations. Those are some impressive numbers. Really, that is nothing. Anthony and Madeline to hang your heads about. Those are some big time numbers. So congrats.
My thought process was I knew Anthony had watched 88 movies back in 2018, and I thought, well, he's going to aim to beat that. So I got to beat that at the very least. And then after that, it's about what he also said, getting to 100. That was the real goal, was getting to 100. And then after that, it was just simply getting in as many as possible.
Yeah.
How many did you watch in December?
November and December were both very big months. November, there was 22, and December was 24.
Yep, that's how it gets done. How you do it?
I also know because Anthony's a school teacher, he always has that last week and a half of December off. So he has a lot of free time. So I knew I had to really pack in the movies before and during that.
Anthony, how many did you watch during winter break this year? Do you know what your number is?
I honestly don't know. Because I was home for some of it, and sometimes when I'm home, I don't want to watch a movie because then my family wants to watch that movie too, and maybe I don't want to watch that movie with my family. You know what I mean? It's one of those. But wait, I went and saw Avatar: The Last Day of School. So 15 from the 23rd until the end of the year.
Wow. You
impressive.
really got me. I can't get over it. I was like, he has conned us for a month.
Months.
For 2 months.
I have for real always wanted to try to do that to you guys and actually make it. And I mean, maybe one day I will, but no one's going to believe me if I ever do it. But you know, it is what it is. Hey, you know, I actually got into a good movie phase, but then by the time once I got cast in the show and other things in life, I was like, there's no chance, there's no shot in hell at this. I tried to just get to 60, and that I couldn't even do that.
You didn't even get to
69, which is
I
so
knew
pathetic.
121 was a strong number and that I had a very good chance of winning. But when I heard 123, I was obviously disappointed because I want to win and I'm a competitive person. But I was also impressed. I was like, I can't believe somebody else wasted as much time as I did doing this.
I texted Hollyn earlier. I was like, let's do a bit together, and she was in for it. I said, only let me win by like 2. If like you put me at like 150, no one's gonna believe it. So we just kept it to a small number. The joke landed, the bit played. We wasted about 4.5 minutes, and I'm happy about it.
What got me was when Hollyn goes the lowest, 91, and I said, pretty sure Luke was around 60, so now I'm concerned.
Right.
I tried not to like overreact when I heard the numbers, you know, to like give it away. So I don't know if on the video recording if it's going to look good or not, but I could be looking very crestfallen. Who knows?
I'm sure I was like, because immediately when you said my number, I went, didn't Luke already tell us his number?
Yeah, it was, you know, I mean, I'm a pretty good actor. I mean, you know, if you don't believe me, come see the games afoot running at the Naples Player for the next 2
I've
weeks.
heard it's
I mean,
a little low energy, but it's manageable.
Hey, come on. Don't throw shots now.
Do you all at least know that I don't want to lie to you in that it shot my heart rate up legitimately of proof to 146 to do that bit?
It was
Like
a good bit.
biological proof that I was like, oh, I feel ill.
Bit did play. As we now kind of segue for real though, as I guess someone who was, you could argue, was the founder or one of the founders of the competition, to see it grow to all these big numbers, it's truly remarkable. So to all three is that's really good. And Maddie, what a job you did. I mean, coming out of I remember when I was in LA, I don't even know if you were you even playing at that point?
No, not really.
Just kind of along for the ride?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, because I watch movies. Like, I do watch stuff, but I'm more of a TV person. But I paused I didn't watch any TV except for White Lotus 2, like from October to Christmas. And Real Housewives, but
Honestly, that's
fair.
what you have to do. I ignored TV almost the entire year.
I definitely think if I'm participating this year, which I'll go ahead and say I am, I need to start now so I don't have to play catch up later.
Well, the issue is Luke talked about how you crammed so many movies in the last couple months, but that's also because you just have to wait for things to come out on streaming services and to be able to rent. The reason I watch 0 movies in January is because there almost are no movies, because it's a dead season because people are waiting for the Oscars or whatnot, and there's just almost nothing to watch unless a streaming service puts out an original movie that early in the year.
I think the first movie I saw last year was Scream. I went and saw that in theaters. I started in the theaters and I ended in the theaters. I saw Scream and then I ended with Avatar, which, by the way, if we can get onto this quick conversation, because I know we want to get to our best and worst and everything, but movies they're just too long. We gotta start editing some of these things, folks. I'm looking at you, James Cameron, Damien Chazelle, Steven Spielberg. Enough is enough. 3 hour plus for these movies, ridiculous. We got to cut them down.
The only movie that should be 3 hours is Braveheart.
There she is.
I'm here, guys. I knew my first line had to be a strong one, so I was waiting.
And it being a Braveheart line is very on brand for you.
Agreed.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Hannah, can we get your reactions to the results?
Okay, I have not done this. I shouldn't have any opinion on this at all. However, what I'm going to say is, not that it's not impressive, but I thought you guys would be closer to 200. But I was thinking about it, and I honestly would, because, like, I would watch, like, you know how Maddie cranked out 91, and I feel like I'd be cranking out, because I don't watch anything but movies. So I feel like that would be, so I'm just interested in now knowing the standard, how you guys will move forward, because these are high numbers now. You have
I
to strategize your time.
absolutely. I don't know how the guys in Maddie feel, but for me, 121, that's a movie every 3 days on average.
Right.
And that's, and me, I have to like work it around because I'm an avid sports fan. I have to work it around games, work schedules, whatever, fit it in when I can. It legitimately feels like work at points. Like you're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to watch a movie tonight, but I have to watch a movie tonight just because I have an open 3-hour window, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say, so what are the rules? Because I am the queen of watching 20 minutes of a movie and watching 20 minutes later and watching 20, because I won't watch TV series, really.
That's allowed.
So I would crank out movies because I fill my time, like when I'm bored or I need something playing because I'm crazy,
Yeah.
I would watch a movie.
You can,
But
you
it would
can,
be-
Because unfortunately, it has to be a movie released in that year, so it can't just
Yes.
be you watching Braveheart for the millionth time.
That
count.
is,
But it would be
I
curious,
like
just like if you just make it you're watching a movie, keep a list of all the movies you watched this year, and let's see what number you get to. Because again, you're watching one movie every 3 days. Like it's a movie you have to pay attention to because you want to.
because we want to rate it.
You want to say you watched it, and it's
Oh,
not
I'm
just something you
putting-
had on in the background as you were
Yes.
vacuuming the ceiling. Like
No.
but you don't have to watch it in one viewing either.
Yeah,
You can break
exactly.
it up.
Yeah.
You can
Then-
like Elvis took me 3 months to watch. Like
Right.
Another
Yes.
one. Boz, let's get to the
Dude.
editing bay, Boz, because this is just too much. You know how many times I tried to watch that movie and I see it was
Okay.
2 hours and 45 minutes and I would just be like, come on, dude.
Imagine being in the theater, trapped, because that's what Emmett and I did, and it was horrific. That was a long movie. It was good. I thought it was a good movie. It just was so long. And they did such a good job with the actor being Elvis, I think. And when they mashed him up at the end, it was like incredible how close everything was. But yeah, that was an incredibly long movie.
You know what? Going off on a tangent, I
Love.
agree. I felt like Elvis gave me nothing, but also was 3 hours long. But I wanted more of it. And then I started thinking about it recently, and I didn't dislike it. And I was kind of annoyed. Like, I get the Austin Butler casting now. Because
Yes.
he was the heartthrob in every TV show that we watched as children.
Mm.
He was in Hannah Montana. He was in Sweet Life. He was in
Wasn't he in
he
Zoe
was
101?
Wire. He was in Ned's Declassified. He was in Zoe 1. He was in all of them and played a heartthrob in every single one of them.
You know what would be the
Fresh.
longest date the movies ever is if you did a triple feature of Avatar, Babylon, and The Fablemans. You would honestly, especially for you Northerners, where the sun sets at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd go in, it would be dark. You'd come out, it'd be dark.
exactly.
Mhm.
It would be curious. I don't have the patience nor the energy to do this, but actually tally up how many days you spent watching movies this year.
Oh, already did that.
I was just going to say,
I did a rough estimate. If you're talking like 2 hours per movie, 120, it comes out to roughly 9 or 10 days.
Oh no, I'm saying specifically with the 121 movies you watched or the 104 that I did, just how many days. But yes, if you average it out at 2, which is probably a safe bet.
I have to be honest with you. I think the extensive spreadsheet I put together for this, I am going to have the duration time on there so that at the end of it you can calculate that, because that would be very interesting to find out how many minutes you wasted of your life. And like, rate it. No, sort your ratings by worst and then just see how much time you spent watching these horrible movies. I love a pie chart. I can't wait. I can't wait for a spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Should I standardize a spreadsheet for the team?
Listen, it's
I'll
not
create-
a bad idea.
I'll
I
create
did
a
start
shared.
this year also a TV one for myself, including how many episodes and how many seasons of
Nice.
stuff I watched.
So
'cause-
yeah, I do the year releases, and then movies I watched for the first time that year. So if I ever come around to watching Goodfellas, it would finally get on the list. And then I do TV shows that I watch in the year.
Love it.
Those are
That's
the
so
three
cool.
categories I do.
Okay.
All right.
I'll set something up.
Do it. Send it. Share it.
I love
Luke,
that.
would you like to kick us off and tell us your least favorite movies of 2022?
Yeah, of course. I was trying to see real quick. I think I looked the other day. So I saw 59 movies. Obviously, I finished dead last. But just for what it's worth, out of the 59 I watched, I kept track if they were streaming or theaters. And I think I only saw out of those 59, I think it was like the number was, I want to say only 13 movies were actually in theaters, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, how much more we all watch streaming as opposed. I did see Top Gun Maverick and Jackass Forever twice in the theaters. So, and Maddie, I know you're not a Jackass Forever fan, but just pack a lunch because we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But let's start with the bad first. So, my quick thing with my worst list, because I actually ranked them 10 to 1 because I know how a proper ranking system works. Thank you very much. Like there's like 3 or 4 that I actually like hate, and then the rest of them are just kind of like, whatever, meh. So I'll just rapid fire through them. So some dishonorable mentions. I had Matilda, Turning Red, and Ambulance. And then starting in at number 10, I had Death on the Nile. Number 9 was The Bubble. 8 was Blacklight. 7 was Morbius. 6 was Thor Love and Thunder. 5 was Halloween Ends. 4 was Pinocchio. 3 was Jurassic World Dominoes. 2 was Orphan First Kill. And number 1 worst movie of the year was Moonfall for me.
That's
Comments?
interesting. Yeah.
That's interesting.
No surprises there, I don't think.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a different movie for your number 1, and I thought ours was the same.
I know it's a little. I think the big surprise there is Turning Red.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
Also, Matilda. You didn't like Matilda?
Matilda was a big
you're going
fat
to hear
plate of
Matilda again
ass.
in that 1 second.
Okay, I will say this real quick about Matilda and Turning Red. There are movies that are made for certain demographics, and I don't think they were making the movie Matilda or Turning Red this 27-year-old with a caterpillar above his upper lip.
Yeah,
So-
but like, I'm 39 and I didn't hate Turning Red.
Well, I don't know, Tom. Maybe go back and watch Citizen Kane. Maybe you'll like that more. That was out around more your time period. Gone with the Wind. Metropolis. I can keep naming classic movies all night.
Did they have talkies when you were growing up, Tom?
No, strictly silent pictures.
The talkies. Turning Red for me was just like, it was fine. I don't know. It was just very forgettable. It's like I'd put in the same category as like Onward. Like I don't think it's god awful. I just don't think it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Also, it's a movie about like a young girl like growing up and like dealing with her mom and stuff, and I just can't relate to that. I'm not a young girl. Contrary to the rumors on Twitter, I am not. And so yeah, just Turning Red to me was very just kind of whatever. I know it might even win the damn Oscar, but to me, I just thought it was kind of meh. Moonfall was straight trash. I mean, I know it's supposed to be trash, but it was too much trash, not enough treasure. Yeah, Jurassic World, those movies suck. They all suck. Actually, that's not true. The first one is good, but the second one and the third one, even they just all suck. If it's not Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, they all suck. Halloween Ends, huge letdown, completely stupid. And Thor Love and Thunder, what a joke. What a just absolute shitbox of a movie. That's my 1 to 10 of trash.
Love it. I'll go. Mine is not ranked because I think if it was trash, I just have a very strong number 1, and I don't know if I'm allowed to consider it because I didn't finish it, but I am putting it in my number 1 slot. Honorable mention would be was it called Me Time? That Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart movie? I hated it. Didn't finish it, so I won't count it. Worst 10. Bad Guys, the cartoon.
Okay.
The Lost City, Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum.
Yes, saw that. Saw both
Didn't
those.
love
I like
it.
that movie.
Didn't like
It was
it.
fine. It just didn't make it. It was one of the bottom for me. It's a Wonderful Binge. the sequel to the original Binge movie, Blonde, Unicorn for Christmas, The School for Good and Evil, not very good,
Yeah.
Santa Games, Paws of Fury, and the worst movie of last year is Jackass Forever.
Ooh.
We'll save our Jackass Forever thoughts.
Yeah, we can save those.
All right. I guess I am next, unless you have any other comments on your bottom 10.
No,
It is
I
interesting, though.
honestly, yeah, I didn't really hate a lot of the movies I watched, except for the one.
Interesting you put Blonde on there because Ana de Armas just got didn't she just get an Oscar nomination today for that?
It's really hard because I wanted to like it, but like the further I got into the movie, I got about halfway through and I was like, this has got to be ending soon. And then I looked at how much I had left and I went, oh my.
That was another very long movie.
Yeah, and then it just downhill from there. It was hard. I don't know.
Fair enough.
My dishonorable mentions, I didn't want to put both of his movies in the bottom 10, so I put Liam Neeson's Memory as a dishonorable mention. And Morbius, of course, has to be in that conversation. I will start off the list with Matilda. Hated it. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Give me 2.5 hours to not advance the story or tell me anything new.
Call it the right name, Anthony.
Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumble. I think it should be Snores. Luke says Dumbledore.
I say Dumble snore.
You say Snores. It should be Dumbledore.
It's a snore. It's a 2.5 hour snore.
Next up is Disenchanted. You'll see a couple of straight to Disney Plus movies on this because my oh my, cut it if you think it should go straight to there. Next up is 13, the musical from Netflix. Trash. Next up, The Man from Toronto, the Woody Harrelson,
Oh, you didn't like that?
Kevin Hart film. Trash. The end fight scene was great. Everything else, yeah. Next up, another Disney Plus, Better Nate Than Ever. Trash. Next up, we have Blacklight, a movie that I instantly called Luke at and said, do not waste your money at the theaters for this film. Trash.
Then he hung up immediately.
Yeah, we hung up. Third from the bottom, shared this one with Luke, Jurassic World Dominion. Awful. Next up, which is my least favorite mainstream movie, Firestarter, the adaptation of Stephen King's film. Utter trash, though I will say maybe the Razzies should not be nominating an up-and-coming actress at 12-year-old and say that there was the worst performance of all time. Maybe that's not great for self-esteem and confidence moving forward. She was not bad. The movie as a whole is trash. And my least favorite film, which I'm the only person, maybe, I don't know, Tom hasn't talked, Paradise City. Bruce Willis's last movie. No. That shouldn't have happened. It was not great. If you want to see John Travolta, be John Travolta, watch Paradise City at your local Redbox.
I did not see that one, Anthony.
Again, I guess word doesn't mean anything amongst friends. So
Yeah. I saw a different Bruce Willis movie, but
does it make the list?
If we watched Armageddon this year, does that count? Come on, Hannah, back me up. You're muted.
I think yes.
Thank you.
Okay, my bottom 10. This may shock you guys, but in watching 121 movies, I did see some stinkers.
So, you don't say.
I am joining my good friends in putting Blacklight in my bottom 10. That movie is not good. We love our boy Liam, but it just stinks. I also have Jurassic World Dominion. I have Eraser Reborn, which is a reboot of an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the 80s, early 90s called Eraser. This one, honestly, probably the second worst movie I saw this year. It was so bad. I have Codename Banshee, which is a Netflix action movie. I have another one called Hill Walkers that I saw on Prime, which is like a Scottish horror movie. It's not good. Low budget, and like they did the best they can, but it's just not good. I have R.I.P.D. 2. Yes, they made a second one of those.
You watched it?
Of course, Anthony. Come on, I was in it to win it here. Okay. I have Fistful of Vengeance, which is some sort of random action movie from Netflix that was also bad. I have Pinocchio. It should be noted that this is not the Guillermo del Toro one. This is the Disney one, which was the same for you, Luke, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
No, mine was one from the 40s. I thought that counted.
And then lastly, I have probably the worst movie I saw was a Netflix action movie called Sniper Rogue Mission. And I pulled a Luke on this and watched this movie because I was like, oh, this is an hour and 20 minutes and I'll just, pump it right out. Not realizing it's like the 7th movie in a franchise that I haven't seen any of the other movies for. And it's like basically a direct to video movie.
That's great.
Oh,
And like
man.
when I looked it up, I realized I've heard of the original Sniper because it stars Tom Berenger and Billy Zane, but I've never seen any of the previous ones. And this is literally like the 6th one or something, 6th or 7th. And I haven't seen any of the other ones. I was like, no wonder this movie's so terrible. I haven't seen any of the other ones.
You turned on
And
the game
also
during the
it's just bad.
So that was your least favorite of the year?
Yeah, I was like,
Was that due
And-
to lack of preparation on your part, though?
I mean, possibly, but like you guys know me, I love like crappy action movies. Like, and even I was like, this is bad.
Tom, there were so many movies you named there that I've never even heard of. And
Yeah.
I don't say that sarcastically. There was I'd say at least 3/4 of your list I've never even heard of those movies.
Yeah, because they're like Netflix or action movies that, hour 20, hour 30 minutes, that whatever. And like, I think one of them might even be a foreign movie. I probably watched 6 or 7 foreign action movies, like just because they're like hour 20 minutes. I watched 51 movies on Netflix alone.
I was just going to say, what is everybody keeping track of? Because at this point, I have the order watched, name of movie, date watched, the platform, the duration. I put director because I think that might be fun.
Hannah, Luke has to leave shortly. After he leaves, we'll get into this so we can get through our top 10s.
Sure.
But because we all kind of record different stuff too.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we get
Let's
into
hit the
our
tops.
Hear those tops.
All right. Top me, Luke.
Should I hit lead off again? Okay. So kind of similar to my
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I heard it.
Anthony, this is a family-friendly podcast.
Oh, clearly.
Wait,
Sorry.
listen.
I fucking forgot.
We have never claimed that. We have never claimed to be family friendly. It's too bad here.
Anthony, don't sexually harass the other guests.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
can't have that.
Keep me in
Yeah,
check.
Anthony, that's really inappropriate, dude.
I'm so
Hollyn,
sorry.
let me know if you want to work HR. Let us know. On top of it. Thank you for that. Luke, did you want to top me instead?
Top or bottom?
Top or bottom? Okay, great.
Would you guys like me to take my top off? I had a milkshake today. My stomach doesn't look that great right now.
You had a milkshake after having 3,000 calories of donuts?
Anthony, that was a couple days ago. Move on.
Oh.
Everyone else has.
So is his body. That's what the metabolism's for. Luke,
Yeah.
let's hear your top.
Okay. So similarly to my worst movies of the year, they're like the top 5. I like really, really like these movies, and then like 6 to 10, like they're really, really good to maybe even great. But like I don't know if I'll like rush back to watch them anytime soon. But kind of like that. I'll just kind of speed around through them. So
Remember how we did
one
it.
honorable mention I did have, which was a movie that I thought was absolutely hilarious and very underrated, was Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. That movie cracked my shit up. And also some really good performances in it. I think it's streaming on Peacock now, if I'm not mistaken. Very good movie. Coming in at number 10, a movie that definitely surprised me, but as I look back on my list, I was like, that was pretty awesome now that I think about it. The Adam Project, which was a complete surprise, but I actually really
Interesting.
enjoyed that movie.
I did too.
Well,
Well,
number 9. Oh, but
it's your father-son dynamic. Those movies get you.
yeah, and I thought Ryan Reynolds was like Ryan Reynolds in it, but also like he wasn't as kind of like he wasn't quite Ryan Reynolds like we know him in like Red Notice or Spirited. He was a little bit more like scaled back Ryan Reynolds. I thought it was really good. The ending was kind of whatever, but that's all right. Number 9 was The Black Phone. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Good performance by Ethan Hawke. Number 8 Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nicolas Cage and the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal. Yeah, very funny, very funny. Number 7, a movie that caught me by complete surprise. Fall, super fun movie, kept me on the edge of my seat. Number 6, The Year of Colin Farrell, 13 Lives. Thought that movie was really awesome, super fascinating. That was like an incredibly interesting story. Top 5. Number 5 was Barbarian. I loved Barbarian. I really loved the first 2 acts. The third act was kind of whatever, but I thought especially the first act, that could read as like a 1-act stage play. It was so tense and like on the edge of my seat. Really good stuff. Number 4, The Batman. This is a movie that like when I first saw it, I thought for sure it'd be like number 1 on my list. But like, it fell down a few spots, but it's still pretty awesome. I mean, it's a great movie. I can't wait to see what they do with the rest of the world. Number 3, shout out to Maddie Lego, Jackass Forever. By far the funniest movie of the year. Loved every second of it. If you love the Jackass movies and the crew, top-notch stuff. Number 2, I had Banshees of Inisherin. Love this movie. Going to win a bunch of Oscars. That's Martin McDonagh, who's brilliant. Fingers crossed. And number 1, Top Gun Maverick. I don't really like the first Top Gun. I don't hate it. I just think it's kind of whatever. I think this movie is leagues better than the original Top Gun, and it's not even close. Anyone who thinks it isn't is just relying on nostalgia, which is A-okay. But like from a fundamental filmmaking standpoint, Top Gun Maverick outshines the original in every single category.
That's what Emmett says as well.
Yeah.
Emmett says the exact same thing about Top Gun.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And it's also...
I disagree completely because the sweaty original is something I'll always love and be in love with. But I understand where you're coming from when it comes to like the entire movie as a whole is pretty great.
Not just
and their tops were off in the original, so
right. That's what I'm saying. Tops are off, sweaty men. I'm all about it. That's Tom Cruise's eyebrow.
I'll just say one more thing, then I'll kick it to you guys around. Top Gun Maverick is also like by far, I think, one of the best summer blockbusters of all time, and one of the best summer maybe like the last true summer blockbuster we may ever get. That kind of has that old like 90s to early 2000s feel that isn't Marvel or DC or Star Wars or whatever, or that's something. I mean, I know it's already a franchise, but like, it was a movie cinematic going experience. It was
that's exactly
awesome.
What I was going to say, Luke. Like of any movie I saw this year, absolute best movie going experience.
100%. Also, my top 3: Top Gun, Banshees, and Jackass Forever. I love all 3 of those movies for very different reasons. Banshees of Inisherin, if you haven't seen that, it's just like masterclass acting, writing, directing, cinematography, pacing, top notch. And then if you like seeing testicles get smashed by a hockey puck or a pogo stick, you might want to check out Danger Aaron McGeehee's work in Jackass Forever. I know some of us aren't mature enough to have that adult palate to get through it on the call, but that's okay. They're too busy, watching Snow Puppies 7 go to the moon or whatever. Her bottom 10 are.
Speaking of that person, Maddie, would you like to give us your top 10?
Benjamin Barnhart, I'll kick it to you.
I've gotten into this on a podcast so many times, so I don't think I need to again.
No, we don't have time for that.
Say, people who ask their friends to do that are not your friends. That's all.
Apparently, Anthony and I are not friends because for years we've just been throwing things at each other.
If you asked me to do any of that, we would not be friends.
Exactly. Okay, so my top 10 is very different, and a few of them are just like silly, but I really enjoyed them. So the 2 silly ones are Wedding Season and Something About Fate. I love a good rom-com. Both of them, very good little rom-coms on streaming services. I decided to make this a tie because there was tension amongst the community, but I think both Bros and Fire Island deserve to be considered. So I'm just making them share a spot. I'm so sorry. That's also terrible of me. But I didn't want to choose between them, and they were fighting for my 10th spot. Turning Red is on my top 10. So, Luke, you can have Jackass. I'll take
I'm
Turning
100% in the minority. For the record, I know it's on Turning Red. Everyone loved it. I was just one of the outliers, but that's
Red.
okay.
100%. That's
Go ahead.
okay.
It's all money.
The Wonder, which was on, I think, on Netflix, which is about it's sort of based on a true story about eating disorders in
Stars
history.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah, stars
That was
our
good.
girl Flo. Very good. The Menu made my top 10. I loved The Menu. And then my top 3 are Woman King. Everything Everywhere at Once comes in at number 2. And my number 1 movie was Vengeance.
Okay.
Good list. Good list.
Respectable
Can I
choices.
just say one thing real quick about Vengeance? That is that is a movie. Kind of going to Hannah's point, or like, well, do you have to like watch it in one sitting? I tried multiple different times to get through Vengeance, and it's not because I didn't like it. It's because every time I watched it, I kept falling asleep in it. But not because I was bored. It was just like I would try to start it like at 11:30 at night after rehearsal, and I'd be like, this isn't happening. And I never got past like the first 20. Every time I would start on Peacock was always at like the same marker, and I was like, this is just not going anywhere. So that's my story on Vengeance. One day I'll finish it.
It's very good. I really loved Vengeance.
Nice.
Alrighty. I guess to me. So my honorable mentions, I just want to give a quick shout out to horror in 2022. I think it was a great year for horror. I had many that did not make my list, but are on my best that I had to cross off because I wrote more than 10. Like, give a shout out to X and Pearl, and looking forward to the trilogy of Maxine this year. Barbarian, Nope, Fall, Bodies, The Menu, Black Phone. Great year for horror all around. If you are a horror fan, looking at you on Yellow Beans. Other shout outs to Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, The Woman King, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The list could go on and on. There were a lot of good films this year. I'm going to start with number 10. I went with Prey, the Hulu continuation of the Predator series. Number 9 was Hustle. Very much enjoyed that movie. Just captivated by that movie. I think Adam Sandler, got to give him his dues when he earns it. Hustle was very good. 8 is Vengeance. Good movie. 7 was The Batman. 6 was Everything Everywhere All at Once. 5 is Top Gun Maverick. 4 is The Outfit. I do enjoy a movie that can come across like a play. Just sit in one setting, small cast of characters. Those movies I find very captivating, and The Outfit was that. 3 is 13 Lives. Really weird. It's just that a really good movie that comes and goes and doesn't get a whole lot of credit, but it's just a really good flick. And 2, I got Banshees of Inisherin. And number 1 is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. This movie is perfection to just smile for 90 minutes straight. Laugh for 90 minutes straight. I mean, we all grew up with that YouTube video. And so just seeing a full action feature of it, I don't know how Jenny Slate does that voice or that whole, it was beautiful. I loved that film. It will lose to Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio at the Oscars, but at least it got its dues. Yay, A24 for making a movie I didn't hate.
Okay, shall I go?
A24 is X and Pearl.
For making 3 movies I didn't hate this year. Actually, they for horror, they did all right this year because they also did Bodies.
They also did The Whale.
Didn't see that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. Okay, I'll do my
I like
top
The
10.
Whale.
Good. Here are some honorable mentions that didn't quite make my list. 13 Lives, Where the Crawdads Sing, Banshees of Inisherin, Nope, The Woman King, and The Batman, which all have been on various top 10s previously mentioned. So, and also The Outfit. Anthony, I'm glad you mentioned this movie because I don't think a lot of people saw it, and this is actually a very, very good film. Okay, top 10. I have Vengeance. I also really enjoyed it. Thought it was good. Number 9, I have All Quiet on the Western Front. I love a war movie. We all know this, and this was the best one by far this year. Number 8, I have Jackass Forever. Luke, we're alike here. This movie is hilarious. I don't know. I'm sorry, Maddie. I understand. I get why you don't like it, but I'll never get tired of this shit. They can make these movies literally forever, and I will watch every single one.
Yep.
Number 7, I have Amsterdam. This is a movie that wasn't critically received very well, but I really enjoyed it. I must have caught myself in a good mood that day or something, but number 5, I have The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I'm glad this got mentioned previously because I think Nick Cage really put out a good one here. So, Hannah, if you haven't seen it, being a big fan, you need to see it.
Yes, I saw it, but I didn't pay close enough attention to it, so I do have to see it again, but I did enjoy it the first time around. I was intoxicated.
Oh, okay.
Okay, goodbye.
Number 5, I have Barbarian. Luke, what you said about this movie was spot on. The first third to 2/3 of this movie is excellent. The last third is kind of okay, but first half 2/3 is really great. And such an original idea, I think, in story. Really, really great horror movie. Mm-hmm. 4, I have Glass Onion. 3, I have Prey. 2, Top Gun Maverick. And number 1, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I have to hop off in a second, so I'm going to be the selfish actor and make a comment real quick. I have to still see Everything Everywhere All at Once. I have not seen it, so I'm definitely going to make an effort to see that soon. I've heard it's spectacular. I can't wait to see it. Yes, Barbarian is great. I don't know if I told you guys, Barbarian was one of those movies I didn't know anything about. I literally just heard it was a horror movie, went in and saw it, and I was so glad I did. Didn't know the cast, didn't know anything. Highly recommend doing that. It's fun when we can do that because nowadays with trailers and stuff, it's hard to. Glass Onion. I was incredibly disappointed in the Glass Onion. I didn't hate it by any means, but Tom, you know how much I loved Knives Out when we went and saw it that night.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite movies of 2019. I didn't hate Glass Onion. I just thought it was so meh. I thought it was such a great cast. I just didn't think it was nearly as funny or clever as the first one. But I mean, I can understand why it's getting great reviews, but yeah, I could see why. Just to me, it didn't even compare to the first one. That's all.
Right, and I think that's why I liked it because it was so different than the first one, which I think was done intentionally.
Yeah,
I don't think Rian Johnson wanted to make just a carbon copy of Knives Out, and that's why this one is a little more lighthearted and not as serious and whatever. And
he said the third one that he's working on right now is completely different than the first two. So I mean, I'm all for these movies. He keeps doing them. He could do 10 of them. I would keep watching them all. Mm-hmm. This one just to me was just kind of It was like it's like a good 6 out of 10, I'd say.
I think it suffers from high expectations. Like we're flawed creatures that if we think a movie is going to be awesome, there's no way for that movie to surpass our expectations. And so that's why the more movies you can go into just being like, I know nothing about this movie, it's going to be good, and just sit down and watch it. Like because I suffered from the same thing while watching Glass Onion. I was like, this just isn't ticking one extra box that I thought it was going to tick. But now after going back and just looking at small clips of Daniel Craig or small clips of Edward Norton, I'm like, that was a really good movie. Just in the moment that I was watching it, just wasn't clicking. But Daniel Craig can play this character.
Oh yeah,
forever. And
it seems like they're just getting bigger and bigger with like the cast and bringing in cameos. So I'm all for, like I said, they can make 10 of these things. I'd watch every single one of them. Because it's a really fun character to kind of follow through. And there's the world's their oyster. There's so much that they could do in terms of characters and stories. One last thing, then I'm going to go. A movie none of us mentioned, or maybe at least an honorable mentions, that was super fun, and I think I've talked about it on the podcast. Bullet Train. And now I know it's on Netflix, and I think it's getting like a second life on Netflix. But Bullet Train is a shit ton of fun.
It is. I don't know how you feel about it
at the end, but other than
that,
awesome.
That's what keeps it from being great for me.
At the end.
They could have shaved maybe 15 minutes off it, and that would have been probably in a lot more top 10s, I feel like.
Yeah.
I have to go. Thank you for having me. Congrats, Tom, on a wonderful year. Anthony and Maddie, second and third place are still places, so don't hold your heads low. And I would love to leave you all by saying thank you for having me. Hollyn, you're a great wrangler, and you are a good comrade to pull a bit. And Hannah, thanks for showing up on time. Jackass Forever will win an Oscar this year. Have a good night, folks.
No. I have a question going back to Glass Onion. Can you chill? My dog, sorry. Do you feel like you watched Knives Out? Did you watch it multiple times, or did you just see it the one time?
No, I've only seen it the one time.
Oh, okay, me too. Because I don't know. I think because I didn't watch it more times, I really didn't feel. I don't know. I liked Glass Onion more.
I think that's a fair opinion because depending on what you want out of those movies, you may like one more than the other. I prefer Knives Out, but that's just because that's how I want my whodunit murder mystery to be, a little more serious and mysterious and not quite as lighthearted and borderline farcical that Glass Onion is. But that's also why I respected Glass Onion so much, because it was not what you typically get out of these kind of movies. It's obviously still incredibly well written and acted and shot. So that's why I liked it so much. But yeah, I can understand that opinion.
I don't know if I was more surprised with Glass Onion when you get, I'm not going to spoil anything, but when you get that first realization of what actually is going on. I don't know if that hit different than when I watched Knives Out or what, but yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I agree. They could do those forever, and I think people will see them because there's no franchise. I mean, Shakespeare, Sherlock Holmes has been done and done and done, and I think it's so it's not modern enough for us now that it's sort of the only. Yeah.
I think the direct comparison to these movies, contemporary, is the Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile.
Yeah.
They're the same kind of movies, and these Knives Out and Glass Onion are vastly superior to those two movies.
Because you had the whimsy, you had the satire, you had so many cultural influences of today's society.
Those are current, yeah. I think Daniel Craig's a great option because he's obviously no longer James Bond. And yeah, he can be someone that we all love in a new character.
Will you be watching Ryan Johnson's new TV show with Natasha Lyonne on Peacock?
Yeah, Poker Face.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was that he was the creative behind it, and it's it seems like it's going to be episodic and not long-term storytelling, which is.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Return to form. I may be wrong, but that's fun. That's released in 2 days.
I didn't realize it was him either until you just said that.
But I also didn't realize he directed some Breaking Bad episodes. He did Ozymandias in the final season. He's a good dude. I liked Last Jedi, despite Star Wars toxicity. I liked it. So he's somebody that I will always kind of check out if he's releasing something new.
I have an important thing to say about Glass Onion, and it's more of a question. I have only seen Glass Onion, and it is one of 3 2022 releases that I saw. So, as many of you know, I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat. I enjoyed Glass Onion quite a bit. Do you think I can handle Knives Out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's you, Hollyn, I think yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I think now is a good time to tell everyone that I did already note that I am missing movies on my list. Not enough to win, but Matilda's not on my list.
Yeah, could you find 30 movies? Is that what you know?
No, but I started scrolling because when Luke said Matilda, I was like, oh, I loved Matilda. And then I went,
Maddie,
that's not on my list.
I completely relate to this. Multiple times in the last month, I had to go through the various streaming apps and try to go through my Netflix previously watched to be did I watch this movie or not? And I literally caught 1 or 2 things that I had watched that I had forgotten to write down or type out.
Yeah.
That's why you need Hannah's spreadsheet.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I
Amazing.
have a
I
Google Doc.
literally, can you get the app on your phone? Because that's where I do most of my work. Is just,
No, I'm 80 years old, Hannah. I can't do that.
I'm sorry.
He has
I
an
know it's my
Android.
fault.
Hannah, it would probably stress you out that mine's in the Notes app.
No, I'm
That's just-
sick. I'm
I'm
sick.
so sorry. It's in the Notes app.
So you're just scrolling, trying to find information?
What information do I need to find?
The ratings?
I just put that right next to it.
But you got to scroll to find it. Is it sorted?
By
I
order
like-
I saw it.
I like that he
Hmm.
clarifies out of 10 on all of those, as if not all
Just
of
to be
them are out of
clear.
10.
Of course.
I'd like to give just a quick honorable mention to Miss Harris Goes to Paris.
Did you actually see it?
Hollyn, it's delightful.
I have got to see it.
I think it's on Prime. I forget which. Yeah, but it is. I wept, Hollyn. I wept because like run, don't walk to watch Miss Harris Goes to Paris. I was sitting there. Oh, I was sitting there towards like the climax, and I was weeping.
Yeah.
And Ben was like, "What?" Because he hadn't been watching, and I said, "This is what." I was like, "I hate this movie because I know what's gonna happen," and and was like predicting it. And I said, "I hate when I know how these movies are gonna write themselves because
It's painful. You feel the pain for longer.
you do, because you know what's coming."
Like, do we mind if we give if I give a spoiler to the most recent Downton Abbey movie?
I don't mind.
Okay, so similar thing. This is my I saw the Batman, loved it. My other 2022 release, and this Downton Abbey film, A New Era. And similarly, Maddie, I knew nothing about it going into it, other than like the plot. But I hadn't watched any of the trailers, and it was like 10 minutes in, and it was like they say something about Maggie Smith's character, and like Maggie Smith is 100 in real life, and they're like, oh well, you know, she's not doing as well as she once was. And I literally swore, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so painful. And it was. Like, I was like, oh, that's the point of this film, and now I have to sit with that for 2 hours as it builds.
Hollyn, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris is on my Peacock, so get to it.
And apparently there's a play of it.
How sweet.
I know. It really was. It's a darling movie. I also would like to give, just a little bit of love to, I don't know, Minions: Rise of Gru. Oh man.
What's you gonna do?
I watched a lot of stuff I liked this year. My top 10 was hard.
Yeah, mine too. And surprisingly, in all the movies I watched, I know Anthony throughout the year said he really focused on trying to watch movies he wanted to watch and not just watch movies for the sake of watching movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't quite do that, but I agree with him. Like I mean, my 10 movies that are in my bottom 10 are there for a reason, but I honestly didn't. As much as I said I didn't like these movies, it wasn't like, oh my god, this is an absolute waste of my time.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't do this competition, but I do have a movie that I would like to say would be in my absolute last place. It's Avatar 2.
Oh, hot take here.
Listen, gorgeous movie, Avi.
Mhm.
I literally was stifling laughter at most of the dialogue that they had. Like at one point he said baby girl, and I was like, and they kept calling each other bro.
Yes!
And I was like, this is a lot for me. And we were in a theater, and I don't know if I would have finished it because we have the AMC pass, so we just go. And I don't know if I would have.
If you were
totally
watching this at
finished
home,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
These
character
are-
Spider is the worst created character in cinematic history. That's too dramatic, but like awful.
Yes.
Awful.
I had a very hard time with that movie. I feel like Hollyn has an opposite opinion, and I want to hear it.
No, I'm laughing with you. I have seen
Okay.
neither Avatar, not to surprise the group, but a movie where they're calling each other bro and baby girl, but like it's Avatar, I can already say I would have been laughing with you, Hannah.
Yes, good. Okay, good. Yeah, it was a tough one for sure. Tom, you
I
said
turned to Quinn
surprising.
afterwards and I said, "Did it bother you how many times they said bro?" And he's like, "No, I didn't even notice it."
Oh,
And it's just like, because like the people he is around say that,
yeah.
and it drives me, like teaching, and you hear it so often,
Yes.
it drives me up a wall.
Yes. Tom, did you see Avatar 2?
Yes, I did.
How do you feel?
I was a little surprised you hated it that much, but your criticisms of it are completely valid.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Like, my opinion of Avatar 2 is the same as Avatar 1. Visually,
Yes.
it's a terrific movie. It's a great film, like, technically.
Mhm.
The story, the dialogue are completely run-of-the-mill, throwaway, whatever. And that's what keeps these movies from being truly great films, I think.
Mhm.
And so it got a Best Picture nominee today.
That's ridiculous.
And I don't think it should have, just on visual effects alone.
No.
Because just because it's the 6th highest grossing film of all time doesn't mean that it's a Best Picture of the
Correct.
year. Give it its props and visual effects and all that stuff, but as a whole, you cannot give a script like that a Best Picture nominee.
Yeah.
I literally was like, someone wrote this down and people approved it, and I can't believe it.
It's a
For a
60-year-old.
huge movie.
It's a 60-year-old writing what he thinks is going to be effective.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
I
it
don't
was
know
not.
what James Cameron's system of checks and balances is when he's making a film, but he needs to reassess it.
Now I kind of want to see it. I'm like interested in seeing it now just for the chuckles.
I told Emmett I would watch it again because it was so bad. Like, it was so entertaining. Like, you can't, the dialogue, you can't even imagine it.
See, these are movies I'm never going to watch again.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
they're too long to rewatch, frankly.
Please cut me off if this is like not appropriate tangent. But
Love.
Maddie, now that Hannah's bringing this up, is this part of why that sketch on SNL that they were like, oh, the SNL sketch, they have like 2 of the characters like say bruh and a lot, and they're like really like bro-y in their language.
Yes.
Now I'm like, oh, like it was funny without knowing that. It's even funnier now.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly what it is. It's wild.
Their youngest writing credit on Avatar Way of the Water was born in 19...
No.
Oh, come on, phone, you just had it. It was in the 70s. It was in the 70s. And
you know
all
what?
of these people approved 72. It's the youngest that I found.
Oh.
And every other word is bro. Oh, it drove me insane.
Listen, Emmett calls me baby girl now as a joke sometimes because it's so gross to us. Because he called his daughter that. And I just was like, this is baby girl. It was like, are you okay, baby girl? It was awful. Anyway, moving on from that. What did everybody keep track of? Let's go over logistics here.
Okay, I kept track of how many movies I saw each month.
Okay.
Obviously, the order in which I saw them. And then at the end of the year, and I keep track of when I watch them, I also write how I watched them, whether it was in the theater, a streaming service, and if so, what streaming service it was. And then also if I rented it via Redbox or something like that, or went to the theater. And so that I kept track of.
Okay. All right. I have those. I have that. Maddie, how about you?
This year I only kept track really of titles. I didn't do anything specific.
Okay, cool.
Maddie also joined the game late. So I
had no time.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I just want to make sure we're including stuff if there's stuff. And then I have duration, director, category. I don't know what else to call it, like comedy or whatever. And then I put rating and comments.
Yeah. Hannah, when this podcast is over, if you want to go through all 121 of my movies, we can do that.
Well, maybe.
I almost want to compare lists, though, because part of me is like, I know there are
100%
movies that I missed.
Here's the thing.
And I want to see how many of them cross over that, like, all 4 of us watched.
Oh, I would love to pull all the data into one spreadsheet via some formulas and then start shooting tables out at the end of the year. So we'll be fine. I can't wait. This will be great. Because that'll be fun to see who's watched. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hope all the boys take advantage of this data whiz of Hannah, because that will be so interesting. Like, you have a Excel genius on your hands. You got to use it.
I love a VLOOKUP. Anthony, did you keep track of anything crazy special?
No.
I saw that app sheet, so it's not.
No,
I know what
just
I'm dealing
name.
with.
Really, all I do is name, rating, duration would be fun just to wallow in self-pity.
Right.
Back, but
And we could do who spent the most time, because depending, you know, you guys are doing 1 hour, 20-minute movies that someone might rank out just
Mhm.
time. So listen, I love a good competition
are we doing this for this past year, or are we doing it for
this
future?
year.
I will say
3, baby.
I'm not doing what I did. I'm not skimping out on all the TV shows that I want to watch that
No.
are released this year. I've had a great time
Yeah.
rewatching Breaking Bad the last week.
You should
I
keep
watched
track
all
because
of
it's fun.
Game of Thrones.
Nice. That was the best. That you squeezed that in. That was crazy.
All right, any final thoughts? Anyone?
Movies are great.
Movies
Mhm.
are great.
I'm beyond impressed with all of you. And I think Hannah's going to kick all of your butts next year.
Just because
I
I'm a
think you're
fucking
probably
loser. Do you know what I mean? Like, congratulations, I'm going to beat all these boys at watching movies and Maddie. I don't know. Maddie might win because now she knows the full competition. I don't know if I can outdo her.
Just know, Hannah, that if you win, you will be the queen of the losers.
That's what
Because
I'm
we're
saying.
all losers here for doing this.
I love that. I love that. I would love to be the queen of the losers.
You can do like
I'm-
that blood pact at the end of It that the kids do. Losers
Mhm.
Club.
Yes,
That can be us.
that can be us. Holland, did you want to participate? I'll toss your name on the sheet.
I guarantee I would lose so aggressively.
No, but I want you to, because you know you watched more than 3 films this past year.
No, Anthony, I am not kidding when I think that is the accurate number. The only, out of what you all said, only 2, and then I know that Downton Abbey one.
Okay, what were the 2 we said?
Batman and Glass Onion, and
Sure.
then Downton Abbey. And I'm pretty confident.
Harry Potter.
You didn't see Matilda?
No, I haven't yet. I'm watching it on Sunday, though. So that'll be, it doesn't help me this. Okay, that's 4, Anthony, but like I cannot. But Anthony, those are like the 4 movies that I like watched this year. I watched Vantage Point this year. But that is from like, but those are all the movies I can think of watching. So I just know that it would be pretty bad. Like, maybe if I can also add on, like, every time I rewatch Parks and Rec or Gilmore Girls, then, you know,
That's
that
what
data
I'm
could
saying.
be interesting. It could be
Yes.
interesting.
Listen, girls, next year, 2024, girls do a TV series. Unless the boys want to join. You can join too. But I could, and you rewatch TV series, and let's just go.
Do you just want to
I
start
love
that
that.
now?
Holly would be like, I watched The Office 17 times.
I would be
I'm-
like, listen, does it count if I stop at season 5 for Gilmore Girls, or do I have to watch the whole series? Because I simply can't watch those last seasons.
I'd support you in whatever you need to do. Gilmore Girls is a tool to use for your own mental health, and nobody should
Thank
tell
you.
you the way you don't want to.
Holland, I am obsessed with you. Thank you for saying that out loud. I needed to hear that.
I'm glad to bring that to you. Nobody needs to see Lorelai and Christopher get married. Nobody needs it.
Nobody needs
No.
it.
Nobody needs it.
The reason I know so much about that is because I don't watch movies. But I want to get better, so maybe if I'm sent a spreadsheet, I'm not saying I wouldn't fill out the hopefully, like, I'm not kidding, I'm like, maybe a goal of 10 movies. Wait,
Love.
5! I did 5 last year. Good luck to you, Leo Grand.
There you go. Double it. You can do it.
I could almost have a top 10. I'm 5
Yes.
away
Wow.
from a top 10 film.
There you go.
Did you not see Turning Red?
No.
That's fair. It's very good though.
I'm sure all of these movies that you've talked about, other than the horror movies, I think you're all lying. The other movies, though, I think are probably wonderful. So 2023 is a new year.
Yeah.
This is terrific podcast content right here.
Excel spreadsheet.
Listen, I delete things.
Oh, Maddie saw 10 films? No, she didn't.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
Oh hell. I can block everybody from each other's and everyone can have a password for their sheet.
That is so cool. You're so cool to me.
No, I'm a loser is what I'm saying. Okay,
No.
we can do this.
Navigating Excel spreadsheets is pretty dope. I'm not going to lie. I've tried to dabble. It's difficult.
It is. But it's fun once you figure out what you're doing.
Yeah. Once you learn some things, everything gets easier.
Yeah, that's kind of how life works, huh?
I was gonna say, so like everything you've ever done?
Yeah, that's how it works. Good job. No, good call out. I love that. I think we need to be reminded of that sometimes.
Sometimes we do.
That's what I think. All right, well, everybody, is there anything else you want to say about the competition or any threats for the upcoming season or anything like that?
No, I would just like to thank you girls for having me and us on and allowing us to bring this competition in front of you. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
If anybody's listening that watched a bunch of movies or want to keep tab with us this year, please do.
Yeah, if you want your own copy of this spreadsheet, you can get it for how much do you want to charge, Hannah?
I mean, at least
$4.99.
Love $4.99.
So just DM us and we'll get you your digital ebook.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you have a good rest of your night. And we'll talk more as the year progresses. Say goodbye. Say
Bye-bye.
goodbye back. Thank you.
Goodbye, goodbye, Madeline.
This is the hello, hi everybody. This is the outro. Welcome.
How was that episode for you, Hannah?
I loved it. I could talk movies all day, every day, forever, continuously. I'm glad you asked favorite movies for that Instagram post. That was fun. But I will say, Emmett goes later. He's like, "Oh, did you put Tommy Boy on?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I cannot believe I missed Tommy Boy. I think I would have changed out White Christmas 6 and 5. Tommy Boy was 6 and 5. Yeah."
I was really debating on my fifth one. I went with She's the Man, but I have lots that I could throw in there. But I felt like I needed that.
Yes. No, I understand completely. Yeah, I love talking about movies, so I thought it was a great episode. And everyone just has such fun insights and different opinions, so it's good to hear.
Except for Luke. His opinions suck.
Oh my god, obviously. Clearly. We know.
Only kidding. Hannah, what did we launch yesterday?
Oh, we launched the newsletter that we're sending out bi-weekly.
And it happens to be called
Bi-weekly. Shout out Emmett Kane. I cannot believe I just yelled to the other room, "Hey, what do you think we should name this?" And he was like, "Bi-weekly." Okay, was that just on the tip of your tongue? How did you know?
Were you just waiting to be asked?
Yeah. He said, "I actually have this written down on a Post-it. Here's your idea."
Here you go.
So that worked out very well. And we are going to send it out every 2 weeks on Thursdays to your email address once you subscribe on babyinfluencer.org.
Yes. So make sure you go and subscribe. If you missed our first one, we won't hold it against you, but you better not miss our second one.
That's all we're saying.
That's all we're saying, because eventually you're something major is going to happen and you're not going to know about it and we're not going to tell you because it's told in the newsletter.
And you know what else? The first edition of everything is the most expensive, so get it while it's hot.
Get it while it's hot.
Yes. We should keep the newsletter for special announcements, like discounts.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's so smart. You're so smart. Good call. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm a businesswoman first.
Business, always. And if you did get it, holler at us, on the socials, or send us a letter via email or something and tell us what you
Yeah.
thought.
Contact us in any way. Belgium, we're still talking to you.
Belgium, we're explicitly asking for you to contact us.
That's all. Literally, call one of us. I will put my personal cell phone out right now. Call me.
Belgium, I will give you my address.
Yeah, jeez. I just want to know who you are. I'm so interested. We really have to go there. Like, we must. I can't wait.
I'm going to have to start tagging Belgium in like all of our stuff.
We really like the location. We should just start dropping Belgium. What if they
But
cut off after we harass them in that one episode?
No, I bet once this episode drops, we're going to end up with like at least 6 more Belgiums.
We have to. Absolutely. Oh, well, everybody, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Join us again next week for another hot and fresh episode. And join us on the streams.
Join us on the streams. Join us on all social media platforms. And get on that newsletter.
Please. We put so much blood, sweat, and tears. I truly almost lost my life putting the first one with Maddie together. This has been... Oh.
We put together a beautiful newsletter to start, and it was not compatible with any service.
You could have gotten this on Monday, but we said, you know what? You're getting it on Thursdays, because that's the better day of the week.
Better day.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. So.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye. We'll see you next time. Are you all caught up?
I am.
Good.
You said you have to answer.